Hi, I'm Paul Ferranby, aka Incredipaul, and welcome to 6 Minute Saturdays. It's a short form of the podcast where I dive deeper into specific leadership, business, and career topics. Today, I want to talk about networking. If you're an introvert like I am, you probably don't like that word or anytime you have to do networking. So the first thing you might think about when I said that is, you're an introvert? Really? You do all this stuff with podcasts, with video, with speaking, all of that? Yes, I was an introvert, or I am an introvert, but definitely growing up, I was very much an introvert. And even more than that, I was very shy. What I tell people is I was painfully shy. So what does that mean, painfully shy? To the extent that I would not ask for things that I know I needed or wanted, and it did me a disadvantage. That's why I said painfully, to the point that it was painful. So if you are an introvert, I definitely know how you feel, because I was on the far side, on the introversion side, of being on the shy side. And I understand that just because you're an introvert does not mean that you're shy. But not everyone understands that. But I was there, so I know there's a difference. But networking is important because we've heard it said that it's not who you know. No, I already messed it up. It's not what you know, but who you know that matters the most. There's a lot of people that are highly qualified and know a lot of things. But if you're not connected with the right people, or people don't know what you're doing, then all of that can be all for naught. So one thing that I talk about when I work with different introverts, or people ask me about, okay, I want to get better at networking. What is something I can do? How do you do about it? How do you go about improving this? Because you don't want to try and be something you're not. Whereas you can change a little bit, because like I mentioned, growing up an introvert and shy, I'm definitely more of an ambivert now, which is a new term I've learned over the last few years, which is a hybrid of introversion and extroversion. So I would say I'm an introvert with extroverted tendencies, because I could definitely do a lot of extrovert activities with the speaking and meeting people, but I can also just be in a room by myself, reading a book, or working on stuff for hours or even days at a time if I need to. So one thing you can do if you are an introvert, or you consider yourself an introvert, is to really start small. Come up with a game plan. If you're like me, as far as introvert, you probably have to psych yourself up for these social interactions. So that's something you need to do. Be intentional about psyching yourself up, whether it's something that you're going to a conference, you're going to a gathering, maybe you're just going to church and you want to meet new people. You need to prepare your mind as far as what you're trying to do visualization techniques. Also, be intentional about what you're saying to yourself. I talk about affirmations. Is something that I've learned over the last several years, how important it is what you're saying to yourself becoming a reality. So don't say that you're not good at talking to people, or you don't know what to say. Don't say those things. Start speaking positive things, but then also come up with a game plan. So the game plan, I would say, is maybe there's a specific person you want to talk to. Come up with how you approach them, or how you want to talk to them. Maybe it's something that there's a team that you have in common. If you're a sports person, or maybe an activity that you both like to do, you can ask them about that activity, and from there you can talk to them about how things are going in that activity, maybe some things that drove them into that activity, why they're passionate about it. But the key thing with networking is to be focused on the other person and be genuinely interested about what they are talking to you about. So I use this technique when I first started at any job. When I first started a new job, I don't know a lot of people. I will usually find out their names, because I want to know people's names, and people want to hear their names said. So as much as possible, I try to use people's names, and then ask them how long they've been there, what do they like to do. I think that's always a good question to ask. What do people like to do, and what are you passionate about? Because yes, what you like to do and what you're passionate, they may be about the same thing, may or may not be. And I'm a sports fan, so I'll usually ask a question about, do you watch sports? Are you interested in any sports? And if they're not, then I'll ask, okay, what are you interested in? What motivates you? What's your reason to come to work every day? Another great question to ask you just about family in general. So what do they have for family? Maybe they were not married or don't have any kids, but do they have brothers? Do they have sisters? Are they an only child? All of these different questions you can come up with, and that really starts the conversation. And with that, you just build on it. You practice. One thing is that if you're not used to doing this, it can definitely feel awkward. And I would say acknowledge that awkwardness. Things are only as awkward as you make them. And when you try and hide the fact that it's being awkward, it's probably making it worse and worse. So acknowledge the awkwardness, helps break the silence, and that'll help you to be more effective at networking. So I don't know if this is something that you all are interested in as far as some networking tips. It just came to my mind. Some recent conversation I've been having, people were wondering about this. If this is something you want me to do more of or talk more about, specific situations, definitely let me know, either to email me, go to my socials, let me know if this is a topic you want me to talk more about, we have a series about it, or if you don't want me to talk about, let me know that as well. I want to make sure this is adding value to you so that we can keep being incredible.